Hello and welcome to the channel. I'm Ian. So here we are with the next part of this lovely little Ford Model T from ICM, and it really is a lovely little kit. On with the video. A little further on, well quite a lot further on really, with this little Ford Model T. If we look at the underneath, you can see I've done the supports and the track rod for the steering, and the exhaust is in. I didn't calculate right when I was painting, so all this section here needs to be black, so I need to just patch that in, which I will do in time. Going to the other side, you can see here that I've, apart from that little spot there that you can see, which I've got some glue on, which I'm going to have to repair. The base of the car is in. The front radiator grille, I've just painted in the Ford there in bright brass, and the engine covers are on, along with the piano hinge along the top, and I've managed to get some brass around the edges here without causing too much of a problem, and that's what it looks like on the inside. The pedals are really truly interesting on this car. I wasn't aware just how innovative this car was, and I'll look into it a bit more for the wrap-up video and do a little bit more history on it. But the pedals are interesting. It looks like a standard 3 pedals, but you notice they're staggered, and that's because not one of these is the throttle. The throttle and the timing are done on the steering wheel. The pedals down here, if I get them in the correct order, are transmission on the left, and you can have that in several positions depending on whether you're in neutral and what is in effect first and second. What that actually does mean is that once you're moving, you can literally have cruise control. You can take your feet off the pedals and you'll poodle along nicely. The one on the right is the brake, but it's not a traditional brake, it's a transmission brake. There are no wheel brakes on this car, so that's the brake on the transmission, but it has the same effect, engine braking. And the one in the middle is reverse, and hence that's why it's fully forward. It can't actually be depressed until this lever is in neutral. So once that's in, you can then depress this to go into reverse. So quite a convoluted way. I'm not sure I want to drive one, but interesting nonetheless. So that's where I'm up to at the moment. There's a few little bits that I just need to repair, but I'm highly delighted with the way the wood finish has gone, and I do need to do a little bit of touch up here and there, but you'd expect that, wouldn't you? But it's looking very nice, and the next stage, he said looking, the next stage will be to fit the main seat, the bench seat which goes on there, and the rear seat which goes on here, and their inserts. So they'll be coming along very shortly. I had a little bit of fun. You know, you have those days when you really shouldn't do anything on a model. I was spraying some bright brass parts, and I left my model over here and ended up with all this side looking like it had been through a glitter storm. So I had to go back and redo all that, but not to worry, it's another coat of black, and it looks the better for it, I think. I also managed to get it all over this mat, which I use for filming, but fortunately I managed to get most of it off. You may be able to see just remnants of it up here. But yeah, some days you just shouldn't model, should you? One of those things. But yeah, we're getting on, and it's starting to look really, really nice. I've also cleaned up the tyres, which hopefully are just about ready. My one disappointment is this, and it's nothing to do with ICM, entirely my fault. I was a bit over exuberant with the glue, and you can see here that I've got a little bit of a glue mark here. Sadly, I only go to 7,000 grit with my sanders, so I'm not going to be able to get that out without getting some compound or something to rub onto that. So I'm not going to worry about that for now, because I'll just make things worse if I try. So that's the windscreen. So there we are. That's where we're up to at the moment. A little more done then. You can see I've fitted both seats and the backs of those seats, and they go in really nicely, especially this seat, really positive. It sits on 3 pins and goes in beautifully. So yeah, that's looking better, isn't it? That's looking okay. I've also put the steering column together. Wow, these were tough to tidy up, but with a little bit of extra thin and some very delicate sanding, managed to do it. And you can see the throttle levers there just underneath. So that's all done. I've also put the roof together. Now this is a canvas roof, and it's gone together really nicely. I actually want these lines down here. This is the one instance where you would normally get rid of any steps, but I actually want that step in place because the canvas in the centre would have overlapped the canvas on the sides with a little seam. So I'm quite happy for that to be there, and by the time it's painted I think it'll be fine. It just needs a little bit of very delicate cleaning up before I put any paint on it, and there's one or two little bits that just need tidying up. There are some small ejector pin holes, but I'm not going to worry about them. They're absolutely fine, and unless you actually turn the model upside down, and even then you're going to struggle by the time this is on here, you're just not going to see those. So I'm not going to worry about them. They're very, very, very minor. So I'll clean all this up, and then I've one or two other little bits and pieces. Here's the handbrake. The black is done. I just need to do the lever at the top. Then that can be fitted. And then we're getting down to the little bits and pieces like the lamps, the horn, and so on. So that's where we're up to, and that's enough, I think, for this particular episode. And hopefully next time we come back, we'll be getting towards the end of the build. Really, really pleased with this, and I think it's going to look superb once it's finished. Just not quite sure what I'm going to do this with. I've got a couple of spare bits of plastic, so I'll experiment a bit. Maybe a rubber black, perhaps with a bit of white underneath or something like that. I don't know. I'll just have to think. I need to make this canvas. So if you've got any ideas, it's going to be a black canvas. If you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested in hearing them, and we'll see how it turns out. So that's it for this one. So there we are. We're getting inexorably closer. I hope you enjoyed the update. It's very close to being finished now. Got a few little bits to do, but I don't want to rush it. I've still the black to do underneath, but I'll brush that on. It won't take very long at all. And I think this is going to make a lovely little model once it's finished. I'm truly looking forward to getting the other bits done and seeing what it looks like with the wheels on. It's going to be really great, and hopefully the next part of this will take us there. So we'll see. It's a very interesting little car. Thanks again to all the new subscribers and to all of you who subscribe to the channel. It's fantastic to have you with me, and thanks very much for your comments below, because they make all the difference. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider doing so. and don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. So until the next time, thanks very much for watching. Cheerio.